In 1982, John Carpenter terrified audiences with The Thing. 20 years later, a video game dared to answer the question the movie left behind. What happened next? Welcome to Movies and Games, where we explore how films are transformed when they cross over into gaming. What gets lost, what evolves, and what makes the transition work or fail. Today, we're looking at The Thing, both the 1982 horror classic and its 2002 video game sequel that picked up right where the movie ended. First, let's have a quick breakdown of the actual film. What I decided to do was have me and a couple of my buddies actually watch the movie together through Discord. And honestly, it was just a lot of fun. I've watched the movie before, it's one of my favorites, and we had a great time just watching it together. And there's something that's super charming about the old horror classics. Lots of good use of practical effects and kind of just really adds a specific charm to the movie that newer horror movies just don't have. Setup of the watch party was actually very interesting. We had to all push the play button together. We had a couple of technical issues as well. What's that one guy on TikTok?
Where's the Microsoft Store? God damn it!
Just type it in when you hit the Windows key.
You were the
Whose was that?
To that blood.
Hold up, you're ahead of us.
Oh,
You're like 3 seconds ahead.
But overall, just super good time, dude. Let's do a quick breakdown of the film. So the film is directed by John Carpenter, and it's based off of a 1951 film, The Thing from Another World, and the 1938 novel, Who Goes There, by John W. Campbell Jr.
Hello, I'm doing a book review, and the book I want to review is Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr.
Our lead actor is Kurt Russell, who plays as McReady, and it's set in a remote Antarctic research outpost, where an alien organism is capable of imitating any life form that infects the crew. Yeah, so it's kind of like a big game of mistrust as you're going through the actual film. You don't know who's infected or who's, still a normal human being. But as the film continues and there's more characters that are being exposed as being infected and they are the creature, we ultimately end up with two characters, which is McReady and Childs. McReady and Childs at the end of the film are both just kind of lying with all this rubble and destruction around them. There's kind of this big open question of, is the infection still alive? Because Childs is further away from the rest of the crew whenever McReady is going on this explosion frenzy and just blowing everything up. And Childs is kind of on his own, but you kind of are wondering if McReady is infected as well, not just Childs. But as they both share a nice glass of or bottle sip of bourbon, the film just kind of fades off and leaves this big question if the infection is still lingering around. All right, y'all, let's talk about this game. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you. You good? You good?
What the hell are you doing back here? I told you to kill those things.
The game was developed by Computer Artworks, and it was published by Universal Interactive. It was released for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. This game was actually approved by John Carpenter as well for a legit canon sequel to the film. So the fact that John Carpenter actually approved this, we get that actual answer of, well, what happened next after the film? That open-ended question's actually going to be solved. Maybe. And it's just your typical third-person survival horror, but there's some elements of the game that actually make it quite interesting. For the gameplay mechanics, you got the squad system. You can command a team of medics, engineers, and soldiers. You gotta manage their trust and fear meters.
Blake, you need anything repaired or even a simple bypass, and I'm your man.
If any of you take on any damage, get back to me ASAP, and I'll help you out. I'm not carrying any dead bodies back.
I'm locked, loaded, and ready to make shit dead.
I feel a lot better about this now. If your squad trusts you, it just really just determines if your teammates follow your orders. That's kind of about it. And then if they're following your orders and they trust you, it's only a matter of time until they actually transform and turn on you and try to kill you. If your squad fears you, your teammates can panic. Let's try to reduce their fear. Calm down, boys. Vomit, and they can off themselves. This happened to me, and I was not prepared for that. Okay, now you're just don't. Now, to make this more of a fun game than just like the film, where the only weapon they really used against the creatures was a flamethrower. Don't get me wrong, the flamethrower is still involved in the game, but you got all kinds of actual firearms you can use to defend yourself from the creatures. And you got blickies, you got sniper rifles, you got some grenades, quite a bit of grenades too, if I might say. You can use that boomstick, you got SMGs you can use. But what I will say, you need the flamethrower to really kill the big creatures. And there's a specific level I really want to talk about when it comes to the game. It's when you and your crew are in one shack, and there's windows on each wall of the shack, and you have to just defend waves on waves on waves of creatures. Man, I'll tell you what, it's, as, you know, kind of janky as these controls were, it just felt really good to just eliminate a lot of these creatures. I mean, had the shotgun out, and I was just beating the brakes out of these guys. And there's a room that just gives you unlimited ammo, really. You can just go back there and just reload and hand it to the rest of your teammates, and you guys are just causing damage, big damage to all these guys. I think is by far one of the most fun levels that you can play in the game. So let's just brief over the plot real quick. I mean, the events are set after the film, and you play as Captain Blake, sent with a rescue team to investigate Outpost 31. You know, the infection really hasn't gone away at all, and the military and a biotech division are experimenting with the alien organisms. So they're kind of just really just wanting to weaponize the entire thing. You got the big bad guy, Colonel Whitley, who becomes infected and turns into a massive thing abomination. You get to kind of meet this character towards the end of the second act into the third act of the video game. He kind of just tells you his plan.
What do you think you're doing, Faraday?
The infection has spread across the base. All of the organisms have to be destroyed. If it reaches the mainland, there's no stopping it.
Quite the contrary. I'm living proof that the infection can be controlled.
No, that's not possible.
The results can't be ignored, Doctor. I will be remembered as the first successful test subject.
No, not if I can help it.
I don't need your help.
And towards the end of the game, you actually get to defeat Whitley, of course, and you're rescued by MacReady. Somehow MacReady survives, and it's pretty ambiguous as to whether, you know, he's still human or is he the Thing creature. Now let's talk about the film and the game and how they both work together. Paranoia and the trust fear system, I feel like, is the best way to gamify the film concept. So I think that works really well when it comes to managing your crew and actually implying that paranoia aspect into the game. And while you're watching the movie, you feel isolated a lot. You're stuck in Antarctica and it's freezing cold. There's nobody but this creature and your squad mates. And it's kind of the same over into the game mechanics with just the Antarctica setting and the crunchy foot noises in the snow. And you just have no way to contact headquarters at all. You're just kind of running around figuring out this crisis. And of course we have the identity crisis in the film, and that translates well with just infected squad mates that you have around with you. And then you got ambiguous survival, and that really translates well with MacReady's mysterious reappearance at the end of the video game. Now, honestly, if I were to rate this film out of 10, I'm giving this a solid 9 out of 10. This movie is amazing, and the practical effects are just really what sells it for me. I don't have much to say about it. It's just an experience you should go into. If you haven't seen the film, you really just need to, and sorry for the spoilers. I can't rank a video game out of 10 because I'm pretty simple-minded when it comes to video games. So I'm just going to say whether if the game was fun or if it wasn't. And it's kind of both. The game just kept dragging and dragging for me, and a lot of the levels are just rinse and repeat because, you know, you are in Antarctica. All of the level designs kind of look the same. I was getting sick of shooting the same mobs over and over and over again, really. One thing I did appreciate about the game was the boss fights were actually kind of horrific and hard to deal with. I had to restart multiple times with the first 2 bosses that you go through in the game. They take lots of ammo, and if you get too close to them, they will hurt you because you need to get up close and actually shoot them with a flamethrower or throw an incinerant, or you need to throw a fire grenade at them. And also, I gotta admit, guys, I didn't finish the game either. What? I was getting so fed up when I was streaming this game to where I kind of just really wanted it to end. That's kind of my overall thought while I was playing the game. I just wanted it to be over with, and it just kept going and going and going for me. The level I was talking about earlier where you're fighting waves on waves on waves of creatures was kind of the ending point to where I was having fun. And I think it was a lot of the story element as well that was actually pulling me out of the game, because after that level is whenever you realize that there's this big antagonist that's trying to weaponize the aliens too. I thought it was an interesting route, but I don't know if I was really like vibing with it per se. So towards the end, me and the chat just looked up a YouTube video and watched how the game ended. We sped through it, and shout out to this guy who beat the game in 4 hours, the entire thing, when I was way past that threshold. I'm a weak gamer. But to wrap things up, the thing didn't just adapt a movie, it pretty much expanded it. It turned Carpenter's themes of paranoia and mistrust into gameplay mechanics. Honestly, overall, I think that's pretty cool. I do think that the film translates super well with the game when it comes to themes and staying loyal with the film as well for a proper continuation. It's just, in my personal opinion, with the main antagonist, I don't know. But everything else I'd say is pretty fair. But thanks for watching, y'all. The links are in my description if you give a damn. And if you like more videos like this, there'll be more coming in the future. So, see ya. No! Die! Die! Come on!